Daniel, you got some darts there?
Yeah, so we have a dartboard up here. If y'all haven't seen it before, which you'll have to go back and watch some of the older episodes to see it.
I like how you're looking at the camera, like they can see you.
Well, you never know. They might just post the video and just in spite of telling us that they're not recording it.
That's true. They would do that to us. Hey, we're not
Yeah,
recording.
these
Oh,
boys got
here he
jokes.
here he comes. Now he's
Oh
getting
yeah, now he's
closer.
actually putting the camera where it matters.
So
Cool, Mr. McCool.
you got new darts?
Yeah, so I brought in some real darts I got for Christmas or something. So they're big and fancy, so we can play fancy darts.
Can I see one?
Yeah, here.
Throw one
Catch.
to me. Ooh, these are fancy. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. We might have to take a quick commercial break and throw a few of these. These feel great.
Yeah, I think we will.
Where do you hold?
I hold towards the back.
Towards the back. Okay.
Yeah.
So the back third of this little notch. Okay,
Yep,
interesting. I usually go for the middle, but I might try that. These are nice. They unscrew,
I don't know. I haven't
kind of
tried.
attached. See a little
They even have a sharpener in the kit, so you can You can re-hone the tip of it.
dude. At some point I'm gonna get you down to my neck of the woods. So once a year, my brothers and I do an event.
Okay.
And the idea started. We're all kind of nerds. We're all geeks, whatever. Board games, video games, math. We like play in Excel sometimes. My brother, it's weird. We do weird stuff. Anyways, we decided like 8 years ago. Hey, let's do like a 24-hour board game marathon. Like let's just play board games because we'd have a board game group with our friends and we'd
Sure.
get together.
Sure.
I don't know, once every month or two and play a couple hours. I think we like saw someone do it, or we saw like a forum or Reddit or something like that. So we're like, yeah, let's try it. So we did it once, and it was awesome. I don't think we did 24 hours straight, but we did maybe like 18 or something.
Oh my gosh.
5 p.m. to the next morning, and we all left and went to bed or whatever. But we named it because you got to name everything, and
Okay.
I'm the marketer brand dude, so we named it. Our last name is Reed. We named it ReedCon,
Okay.
and yeah, I mean, like, it's just for fun, just our stupid little thing
Sure.
we do every year, the four of us. And anyways, so like every year it has evolved where like we play less and less board games and we just like make up events to like for each
Okay.
other to like have fun. So this past year, my one of my brothers invented a game called Octagolf. Because this year we also like started having like a theme every year. I don't
Okay.
know how it started, but like ReedCon 5, it was the year of the goat. So like we play an annual poker tournament. There's like a goat trophy like my brother made. And it's the whole nerdy thing. Last year was the year of the octopus. Now this will make sense when I land the story. It was ReedCon 7, but it was the year of the octopus. Um, and my brother, the welder, the guy who
Okay. Yeah.
welded
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
that stuff you've seen,
All right.
he made Octagolf, which is an 8 like sport golf, like frisbee golf kind of game.
Okay. All right. Just
And
golf in
so
different forms.
it's imagine like a frisbee golf stand,
Uh huh.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. With the chains and the bucket on it. Yeah.
but the pole he made is 10 feet tall and the frisbee golf part is towards the top.
Okay.
Now, above that, he added a basketball hoop with like his own metal chain.
Okay. I see where this is going.
Below that, he added an archery target. Just above that, there are four like 4x4 little blocks of wood with like sandpaper attached
Uh-huh.
for darts.
Okay.
And then he created this. It's pretty incredible. He created this like waist high circle of sand where the pole goes through for
Uh-huh.
horseshoes. And then he
Okay.
has a hole at the bottom for golf and bocce ball.
All right.
So, dude, it was like so much fun. We legit played Octogolf for like 4 hours. But yeah, you start with like one sport and then you switch every time you hit. So you tee off with golf, and then you
Okay.
switch to basketball, and then you
Okay.
go to darts, and it's pretty wild,
Whew.
but it's fun.
I think I would get really into that and get really super competitive to the point that I'm probably not fun anymore.
No, no, no. It's a great one because nobody is good at everything. So
Sure,
like
sure,
it's
sure.
pretty even across the board and
Yeah.
like when you throw a dart from 100 yards, you know, it's just whatever. But
You know,
no,
that
it was
game
a good
was
time.
outlawed in the '70s. That's called lawn darts, and that's really not healthy for kids.
I have not heard of that. It's called lawn darts.
Yeah, yeah, there was a game sold at, I'm sure, Kmart or Walmart or something, and imagine a dart that's about 18 inches long, and it has an 8-inch spear on the end of it. And this was a kid's game for you to play in your front yard where you throw lawn darts back and forth.
To each other?
Oh, it's a little target that sits on the ground,
Hmm.
and you're trying to, yeah, it was pulled off the market because, you know,
Oh, I see a picture.
oh, yeah,
Holy, those are some large looking
yeah,
objects.
yeah. Now there's it came back in the '90s with a Nerf brand, and there's soft tip and perfect for today's culture. But back in the '70s, these were like 2-pound metal spears that you threw at your family
Goodness.
and impaled small children. So it was therefore recalled. And I'm sure nowadays somebody still has the original lawn darts, and I'm sure they go for big money. In the toy, yeah,
Oh my god.
the toy collecting, realm.
Meredith just showed us a picture of some dude face down with a
Face
dart in
down
his
with a
neck.
lawn on his neck.
Oh man, probably fake. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I didn't see any blood.
All right, I like this topic, but before we move on, I found a picture, so let me just show this to you real quick.
Okay. That's to know that your brother made that, that's incredible.
And it's like concreted in the ground. Oh, and the sport I forgot is cornhole. So
Okay, all
cornhole's
right.
there too. So you
Yeah,
got three, but you can approach from any angle because it's like a
I
circular.
see that, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got like a couple acres, and we tee off down this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fairway. Oh, it was fun. It's a good time. How how terrible have kids' toys become?
They just be
I mean, let's be real.
I don't I mean, okay, what kind of toys are you talking about? Like action figures and stuff? Or just
Oh,
toys
I
in
could go
general?
off on action figures, yeah.
Okay.
But like you mentioned the lawn darts, and nowadays, like what do kids play with?
I mean, my kids have bikes and scooters and roller skates and like a roller coaster. My son has a little roller coaster thing, so he gets on the car and it's a little up and down little roller coaster thing.
Ooh, the indoor thing.
Well, it's out in the backyard, but it could
Yeah,
be inside. I
I've
don't
seen
know.
that.
I think it's a mixed bag because like Power Wheels. I wish we had those amazing ones that they have now. When I was a kid, that'd been cool. There's miniature forklifts now. There's miniature backhoes that kids have that we didn't. So I think it's a mixed bag of really cool stuff that I wish that we had when I was younger. But then we also had some really cool stuff like Transformers and things that that changed and completely morphed from an actual transformer, like a semi truck into not Megatron, but I don't see that kind of stuff anymore. So I think it's just changed. I think there's some cool stuff that we didn't have, and I think there's some cool stuff that they didn't get.
Yeah, I guess I see it differently because I mean you're definitely right. I just mean like when I was a kid, everything looked cool, but now I'm a parent, so everything looks terrible.
Yeah.
As far as like you're in Walmart or Target or wherever, and all the branded TV shows and
Yeah.
movies and
Yeah.
all the nonsense. So yeah, it's probably exactly the same. I just view it differently.
And then like my daughter has this putty stuff, and
Play-Doh.
no, it's not Play-Doh, but it's like this gooey, I don't know, goo stuff.
Hmm.
And back in the day when I was a kid, we could never have stuff like that because it stained the paint, it stained the carpet, yeah, that stuff was thrown out immediately. But now it doesn't stain furniture or paint or walls anymore. And so, okay, all right, cool.
Hmm.
That is kind of an innovation and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag, but My daughter, I would say, is the leading authority on toys and, cool stuff like that, and she's so into arts and crafts that she didn't have a whole lot of kids like toys, figurines, action figures, that kind of thing. She Everything she gets is like a kit or a craft making, project of some sort. So, um, and then my son, I gave him 200 Hot Wheels that I had saved. And that's all he ever wants to play with is Hot Wheels.
That's
They're
awesome.
everywhere. They're on top of the couch. They're in between the cushions. They're underneath everything.
Where did you have them saved from?
I mean, just when I was a kid, I got
You've
them.
kept them that long?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got them for everything. I mean, my dad was really bad about being bored on like a Saturday or something, and just let's go to the toy store. My mom's like, no, he didn't do this or he didn't do that. Dad's like, yeah, he's all right.
Wow, that's awesome. That's fun. Yeah. I when I was a kid, I was really into, Batman action figures.
Hmm.
That was my thing, so oh, yeah, I had a huge collection. But, just looking at that, though, like, those have deteriorated in, like, quality, like,
Oh
they'll
yeah.
break apart, and
Oh yeah.
but, dude, the ones I had, actually, my nieces and nephews, like, play with them now, and
Uh huh.
they're indestructible, dude. Whatever,
Hmm.
like, rubber, plastic combo that built those things, they'll last beyond humans, you know?
Yeah, I gave my son a bunch of Hot Wheels. I also have leftovers some big metal toy trucks, like a semi truck that's probably 2 foot long. It's made out of metal. The trailer that goes with it is made out of metal. It's real rubber on the tires. That, like you're saying, it's real stuff. And a couple of tow trucks that he plays with all the time. Those things weigh 4 pounds apiece, and they're big, massive toys, which I just don't see on the shelves anymore.
Yeah, I mean, quality always goes down with
Yeah.
mass production and, you know, China. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
But, yeah, I do love the, you mentioned, like, backhoe and stuff, like,
Uh huh.
at the playgrounds, they have those now where, like,
Yeah.
in a sand pit, you got this weird stationary, like, backhoe.
Yep.
Alright, that's cool. The kids love it.
I hop on that thing. Are you kidding?
You dig some sand.
I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But then okay, talk about playgrounds. My kids are on playground. We have a playground across the street from us. There's a school and a park right over there. They're on them all the time. They don't have seesaws anymore. They don't have those.
The spinny.
The spinny things. They do, but they are extremely limited. You feel the resistance when you're pushing, so they can't go too fast.
Yeah, my sister in, where does she live? Michigan. They have an old school one on their playground.
Oh
It
yeah.
is so sketchy.
Yep.
Dude, it goes like 20 miles an hour in a
Yep.
circle, and yeah, they love it, but it's terrifying.
I was always the kid on the playground at elementary school that was not on the thing. I was standing there and I was flinging that thing from side to side and just watching kids fly off.
Yeah, I'll say that one probably is a good one to get rid of. So I think kids are getting concussions left and right, and oof.
Uh huh. And just getting laid out all over the playground. And then the horses or the animals you used to get on that were on like a truck spring.
Mhm.
That just went back. You don't see those anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the same thing. You got a stupid kid standing in front of you, and you fall off, and it just
Or you're like me and you
hits
just
them.
used to pull the thing back and wait for somebody to walk along and then boing.
Oh man, yeah. No, I legit. I remember we had a growing up. We had a tiger and a kangaroo. And the tiger had lots of resistance. It wasn't very much. The kangaroo went fully to the ground on both sides.
Yeah.
That thing could launch a kid, dude.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then, okay, but then in the same conversation, there's a park in McKinney, I think. The whole thing is suspended by ropes. It's amazing. The whole thing moves slightly. It's all in like rope bridges, and the slide is even all suspended by ropes, and the whole thing kind of moves a little bit. It's so freaking cool.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. They didn't have that when we were kids.
No,
We
for
had rusty
sure.
slides that, you know, you could cut yourself on,
Oh
and
yeah.
you definitely needed an ambulance.
Yeah. I remember, yeah, metal slides. Those were like the best and the worst
Yeah.
because like you'd launch, but they get crazy hot. They're
Oh yeah.
sharp. Yeah,
Yep. I remember
yeah.
when windbreaker pants used to be a thing, and it's just pure nylon. I remember seeing a kid's pants wrinkled in the back because they went down the slide and created so much heat and so much friction that they kind of melted a little bit to the back pocket of the pants.
Oh, that's amazing. No, you make a good point. Yeah, I guess with the evolution of technology and all this stuff, yeah, you we lose some, but we gain some.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a park I took my kids to a couple of times. I think North Rockwall or somewhere out there.
Okay.
It's like an hour drive for us, but it's incredible. It's just like the coolest thing I've ever seen, and they have obviously all the cool stuff you see, but um, they have like this wall running wall where
Oh,
like you
okay.
can like American Ninja Warrior kind of stuff where you can
Uh
like practice wall running. It's so cool. I mean, I was doing it. It was awesome.
huh.
But yeah, yeah, you're right. Changing times.
Yep. Speaking of changing times, things are changing around here. Getting bigger all the time. Hired more people all the time.
You just got a big promotion. Congrats again. We
Yay.
still see your confetti.
Yes, it's still everywhere. Yeah, I was just thinking about that this morning actually, that we got two new people that started today. I think somebody did a couple of interviews last week, so we just keep growing, keep hiring people, keep adding on to the team. It's pretty cool to see. We're gonna run out of room here very shortly.
Gosh, we need a new office ASAP. We need a new media room, one twice this size would
Yep.
be nice.
We can all just hang out in here all day.
Got to see if I can swing it. But so would you prefer to be in like so we're a software company and we're a software startup and fully invested all this stuff, but not every company is built the same. So would you prefer this kind of fast-paced, high growth environment to work in or would you prefer like a steady company and job that like is much less like they don't grow as much as we do, but steady growth and they might hire one person every year.
No, this environment's so much more fun. It's so much more engaging. You're so much more involved with what's going on. The stakes are higher. That reflects not just the culture of like the work environment and the pace of work, but it also reflects on who we hire. And so in that more traditional business, maybe a more established business, let's call it that, a bigger business, or maybe more established or whatever, you get people that are so bored. They sit around all day. They stir stuff up or they don't have anything to do, so they find something to do. And a lot of it's mindless, pointless stuff. And so the the things that we do here, they have a meaning, they have a purpose, they have a reason that they need to get done, and it's high stakes and it means something. Um I've worked at other companies that were big businesses, and just the bureaucracy that sets in and the just the general attitude of like, yeah, we'll get to it, or man, it's not that important, or but and it might be something that you feel passionate about, wanting to do, and the bureaucracy has set in, the middle management set in, that kind of thing, and it's just, yeah, one day, and blah, 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 with him and Han and stuff, but here it's good idea, let's go, let's do it, boom, go.
Yeah, no, and that's true. I feel like there is. I mean, so first of all, I think everybody hates the big business bureaucracy
It's
kind of game. It's just like they supply half the jobs in the country, so it's
mm-hmm,
like at some point, most people will work there, like it or not. But
mm-hmm,
um, yeah, I mean, I feel like you're missing the other side though of like just smaller mom and pop shops, family owned businesses that been around for 50 years and they're growing really, really slowly, but they've got 3 employees and they're all pretty busy and doing real stuff. It's
sure,
just always the same, right?
sure. And there's something to be said for that too, of the predictability of knowing what you're coming into, and working for a small business, and this is just the way that we do things, and that there's something to be said for that. But going back to the people, those people who need that and want that are gonna go seek that out and Great for them.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, if you're the kind of person that, say you're I don't know, just to be a general, so if you're like a person who likes to produce things, who likes to make things, then you want to go find a job like that where you are really good at making the same widget, whatever that may be, over and over and over again, and you get really efficient at it, and it's very satisfying to see that being done. But I've never liked to do the same thing for very long, hence all the work experience that I have of getting bored with something and then finding another trade to do or finding another task, another project that I like to take on. And so I've always, moved and changed and been dynamic, and just as soon as I get really good at something, I've always, with my hands, I've always gotten bored with it. And then, like, all right, well, I know how to do tile really, really well.
Sure.
Okay,
What's next?
now I'm gonna do hardwood floors. Now I'm gonna go figure out and learn how to do hardwood floors really, really well. I did. Okay, next. And
No, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone's definitely different. I think for me, sometimes I do think about the other side. the the other side of the grass, or the what's the phrase?
grass is always greener.
On the other side of,
Other side of the fence or something.
oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
other side of the fence. That's probably it. But yeah, not because, like, I mean, there's just pros and cons, right?
Yeah,
Like,
to
yeah,
everything.
we've got, it's more exciting. There's always new stuff. You've got a bigger voice. People, you've got more responsibility, but it's also more stressful,
Mhm.
and there's more weight, and at any moment, it could fall apart. I mean, not really, but like,
There's
it's
at least that sense of at any moment this might not work, or like it's you're kind of living on the edge.
we're not indestructible, right? Like
Yeah.
stuff far outside of our control, which is for most businesses, especially software startup, anything that's relatively new, market changes,
Mhm.
and you never know what it's going to look like in 5 years.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I often think about, just doing the same thing every day, zero stress, zero decisions I have to make. People have to manage. It sounds kind of nice every once in a while.
It does. Yes, and I was gonna say that exact thing. That sounds nice as in a sense of like taking a break, and then you start to get bored because if you've
For
lived
sure.
this kind of life, and not just in a software company, but just even just being an entrepreneur where you're kind of living on the edge, and and you're trying to fight to pay your mortgage that's due in 12 days or something, and what am I going to do, and how am I going to get, my stuff together to, to get a check in my hand so I can get, you get creative, and then similar to what you just said, it is nice where in my handyman business, I hit a stride where it was predictable. It was nice. I knew that the phone was gonna ring, I was gonna have some business, I could take a day off every now and then, and it was a not because I had earned it, because I had gotten myself to that point. But then I would stir things up a little bit. I would change my prices, and I would mainly raise my price. So I'd raise my price on something, and then my workload would go down. But then I'd have to figure out how to get my predictability back, and so I
Mhm.
was not self-sabotaging, but I was kinda doing it to myself of like, I need I need something, I need some kind of input because once you work in an environment like this, you realize you're cut out for it. Once you work in this kind of environment for a while, right, there's plenty of people, and Field Pulse has had plenty of people who come, work here, and then they realize it's not for them, and
Sure.
they go, and that's okay. But once you're here and you make it, and you kind of establish yourself, and you establish the gusto, if you will, of what it takes to do it, then you get into a you might get into a position or a spot in your life or your work where it's predictable and it's kind of mundane and kind of rinse and repeat. And then I think you have something down inside of you that's like you want that excitement back. You want that energy back.
No, for sure. Yeah, my past few jobs were all agency side and marketing, and that's when you've got depending on the role, but typically you've got like 3 to 5 clients, and you're doing the same thing every day for
Mhm.
each one of those clients. And, yeah, I had some great jobs, but I was just, oof, I was getting bored
See?
of like, and I get bored easily, so I'm definitely an outlier here, but I think a lot of people agency side feel it though of like, all right, I'm going to do these 10 deliverables every single month for each client. It's never going to change. And then we're going to have a monthly review of the same stuff every single month. And we're going to have a quarterly review. And like, maybe the companies you're working for grow a little bit or, have some exciting stuff happen. But like for the most part, you're just doing the same thing, rinse and repeat every single day, month, year. And yeah.
And there are people, and I even have a side of my personality, if you will, where I'm good at that stuff. I'm good at rinse and repeat things because I get very efficient at doing things. And I'm talking about making things, obviously, where I can make hundreds of something, and I get really good at creating a process to build that thing. But I can't wait to be done with it. I can't wait to. It's really cool while I'm in the moment and I'm figuring out. I'm thinking of like pieces of wood or pieces of steel, things I used to do on a workbench, and positioning them in a way that it's a natural flow and a natural process. Step one, step two, step three thing. And moving something in a way or orienting something in a way that it's more efficient for me to grab it, put it in my jig, weld it up, moving on to the next spot. That's cool in the moment, but once I've got that process down and I get through a couple hundred of, making a hinge or a clasp or something that I used to make, I'm so ready to be done and move on to the next thing.
I feel like you and I are very, very similar in that aspect of like challenging processes and how to do something. Did did teachers hate you as a kid? Do you always ask why?
I spent a lot of time in the hall.
Yes, me too. Oh my gosh, me too. But like math or like they give you a certain way to do something. Did you always ask why? Like there's got to be a better way than this. Why are we doing it this way?
I don't remember asking why. I remember a lot of what I remember in school is figuring it out and being done and then just sitting and being bored and getting in trouble.
Yep.
And there were some things, anything to do with like science, English, history, like all those mundane subjects that nobody really likes. I was always really good at it, and like, the history thing of history class of like recalling dates and stuff, I could do that really, and I boom, and I was done. And I was getting in trouble because then I was starting to mess with everybody else because they couldn't remember, or they were getting confused on something, and I actually found history interesting, so I was kinda, "Okay, boom, 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 done." But then when it came to math, I'm really bad at, like, algebra, and so then I didn't wanna be there, so then I got in trouble for a different reason because I was kind of revolting and
Mm,
not wanting to do it, so, yeah, I spent a lot of time in the hall.
that's funny. All right. So not quite what I thought, but that's funny. Yeah. I often like why was my favorite word, in
Okay.
school. And like I just I often saw like the cookie cutter method of doing stuff and I just had no interest. And I was like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that. Half because I found a better way and it was faster and more efficient than I could go and, get into trouble in the hall with you. But the other half was like, I just hate being told you have to do something a certain way.
Yes. Yes.
Which is, it's kind of what you have to deal with when you're in school. So
Yep.
I was not a good student most of the time.
Yep. And to put that in the context of school, I hate that. But to put it in the context of building furniture that you get from like IKEA or something, there's a reason you have to put it together that way. So that I completely understand. But
I mean, a puzzle, sure.
yes,
It's a puzzle.
yeah,
IKEA furniture.
which should be a course in school, I think.
Yeah, how to read IKEA instructions.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was even thinking just take the instructions away and give kids just a box of parts and tell them to figure it out. I think that'd be kind of a worthwhile life lesson.
No, probably. Yeah,
At least an exercise in a class on how to do that.
that's some like Montessori development stuff right there.
Yeah.
I like that. They always have what are they? They're country. Switzerland?
They're from
No.
Sweden, I think.
Sweden, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I love all the Swedish names for their furniture, it's like, I have no idea, like, Ikenor or something,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know. I
what
don't even know how to say it.
they they always have different names for their stuff. It's kinda
I
fun.
just point that one. So where's your next vacation?
I got some vacations coming up, thankfully, semi-vacations. I'm going to the beach, let's see, in a couple weeks?
A beach in Tennessee, right?
No, good you're yeah, close. Beach in Alabama, Georgia,
Okay.
so, like, Orange Beach, Gulf Shores
Yep.
area. That'll be mid-May, and then, yeah, I'll be in Tennessee first 2 weeks of June, so you'll have to find some podcast guests
Okay.
for those 3 weeks, but, yeah, Tennessee is
Oh, that's right. The
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 island
island in
trip.
Tennessee. Yes,
Yeah.
which a lot of people are not gonna understand.
Well, believe it or not, the Dale Hollow Lake is, like, one of the largest, not, like, mega large, but it's a very large lake in Tennessee. It borders through Kentucky. It's crazy, hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Cool.
Yeah.
When we went to Tennessee for our anniversary, I think I told you this, I was just looking at real estate because we were getting ready to buy and sell houses back then, and I saw an island for sale in Tennessee. There was a lake in the middle of an island, and they had run utilities out there, so they had water and electricity out there. It was undeveloped, and it was I think 1.2 acre island.
How much?
Back then it was 450, I think.
Oh, dude,
400, 450. I'm
that's
probably
not bad.
sure it's over $1 million now. But I thought it was a really cool idea to live on an island like that. And you had to there was a dock on the island, and then you had a dedicated dock at the shore.
Mhm.
So no one could use your dock, and that was your way on to mainland. Thought that was so cool.
That's, like, my dream.
Yeah.
Live isolated on
Hmm.
an island. Nobody can get to me, nobody can talk to me.
The only thing I worried about was people thinking that it's public. And you can put up all the signs in the world about no trespassing and don't, private property and this and that and the other, but you're still going to get drunk idiots on a boat that, hey, can I use your bathroom?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Every year, so the island we go to every year, it's most everything on this lake is owned by the Corps of Engineers and, monitored and
Hmm.
maintained or whatever, but, so we have to, has the island is very large, but it has 2 campsites you can reserve and rent on opposite sides of the island, and we reserve both, the whole island, and, yeah, every year we get tons of boats who dock, for one night, just having a party, and they don't really go on the island much. They just kind of dock by the shore and they have a houseboat and they, play on the shore or whatever.
Okay.
But occasionally we'll get people on the opposite of end camp there. It's pretty common. We usually don't mind. We don't go over that side much, but occasionally they'll come over to our side and you just never know what's gonna happen, right? Because
Sure.
like, we're just camping, we basically live there, and so you got this random people walking from the woods, like, middle of nowhere, coming to say hi, and, most of the time, they're nice and cool.
Sure.
They
Sure.
they've we've made friends before, one time we got this group of drunk, older dudes who were just catfishing, and they caught a bunch of catfish, grilled them up, and brought us a bunch of catfish to eat, and kinda hung out for a while, that was fun,
Okay.
but,
I would anticipate most of that being good interactions. I would just be fearful of the one that's just going to ruin it.
yeah, the worst thing we've experienced is there's always fireworks on the lake. And this is like June 1st through the 20th. So like there's no reason for fireworks. There's no holiday or anything.
Okay.
But people love blowing up fireworks when they're
Yeah.
getting drunk on the
Especially
lake.
out in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a thing apparently. So once a year, there's always one night where people are just going nuts with fireworks at like midnight. And most of us have young kids and stuff. And it's loud. We're in, sleeping in tents. So there's no
Uh,
like,
Insulation or
no
windows to
insulation,
close or
your
anything.
kids, everything. So sometimes we'll get people dock on the island, launch crazy loud, like mortar fireworks
Oh
for
my
like an
gosh.
hour. And yeah, we've had some rough interactions, like going over there, asking them to stop, and you know, most of the time they're drunk and usually not a good idea.
Yeah. Especially when they have something to shoot at you.
And fireworks is the least harming thing they have to shoot at you,
Yeah.
most likely. So
Yeah.
yeah. But apart from that, I mean, lake people are lake people. Like they're just having fun, dude. They're there to have fun and relax and drink and get sunburned, and
Yep.
that's about it.
There's a whole I like that you said lake people. There's a whole culture of people that love to live on the lake and love to be on the lake. And I get it. I'm just not the biggest water person. I'll do it. It's fine, but I'm never going to own a boat. I'm never going to if I get invited, I'll 100% go. But I'm not going to put any money into it. I'm not going to make an investment in this at all, but down at Texas or up at Texoma rather, there's these I don't know if you've seen them these humongous covered docks that hold 50 boats.
Mhm.
People are building essentially pontoon platforms and they're building like townhouses on them. And we know some people who have rented two boat slips indefinitely. They they don't own them. You can't own them, but they you can say that they own them because they're never going to move. And one boat slip is this pontoon platform. It's a full on 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath townhouse with a ceiling or a rooftop deck
Mhm.
with cedar beams and lights strung across and an iron railing fence and stairs that come down and a full kitchen and full everything. And then their very, 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 very expensive boat sits right next to it and the other slip. And that then go down there for 2 weeks and be there and live there. And there are people who live down there full time on these floating pontoon houses, townhouses pretty much. And it's a scene.
I think it's awesome. Yeah, I saw this one dude on like TikTok or something who him and his wife like sold their house and built one of those tiny no, they're bigger than tiny homes, but they're kind of in between
Uh-huh.
tiny home and a normal home because it's a little bit less spacious than a normal house. But yeah, they sold their house, they built one of these things, and they just rent full time a like spot on the lake for like 200 bucks a month
Yeah.
to rent this spot, and they
Mhm.
dock there year round, and they boat, and they have full time jobs, and they work remote, or they boat to the mainland and
Yep.
drive to work, and they live on the lake. It's crazy.
There's a lot of people who have figured out, and I don't think this really caught fire during COVID. I think it was just one of the, during that COVID time of everybody finding all these different ways to live, right? Like the travel vans completely took off and living and working remotely completely took off. And I think it's been in place for a long time, but people living on houseboats, it's, you can kind of call it a housing hack because you can buy the boat, you can live on it full time. And the big hack that everyone talks about is you don't have to pay property taxes. You own what's essentially a piece of property, but it floats, it's tied, it's in the river. It's the same kind of loophole, if you will, of the casinos in Louisiana. A bunch of the casinos are on riverboats.
Mm.
So there's a whole slew of taxes that they don't have to pay because it's not cemented in the ground. So it's kind of a little loophole around a bunch of rules.
The water is freeing.
Yes, it is free.
Dive in. No, it's freeing.
Oh, yes, that too.
Water frees you. Some other jokes should probably avoid there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then international waters, freaking anything
It's kind
goes.
of like air or space. Like no one really owns. Obviously, we own airspace,
Yeah.
but not everywhere, right?
I don't
Does
know.
everyone own?
I'm sure the U.S. would say that they own it all.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, same with space. We
Mine,
own the moon.
mine. Antarctica, mine.
Dude, ain't nobody owns Antarctica.
The buildings get so high, and then another recent debater on airspace has been drones. where can drones fly and not come over your quote unquote airspace? Like how if I own my house, how low can a drone come down into my what's considered my property? What's considered my bubble or my sphere where
That privacy fence ain't blocking nothing.
yeah, it ain't blocking a drone. And so how high up do I own where I could, you know, shoot a bow and arrow with a line on it or something to get a drone down and
Dude,
stop you from looking in my backyard?
if you shoot a bow and arrow and nail a drone, I feel like you deserve the right to do that
All
if
right.
you're able to. That's just impressive.
You heard it here, folks.
There you go, Octogolf.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Drone archery drone.
Wow, that'd be sick. Yeah, the archery is the most sketchy part of the game because you aim too high and it's gone in some dude's backyard,
Eek.
you know. So I gotta watch out for that one. Well, should we intro the podcast?
Yeah, we should probably intro it.
45 minutes in.
Yeah. Welcome everybody back to an audio only, episode of In the Field here with Mr. Ben Reed. In the field.
What'd you call it?
In the Field. So, In the Field is our YouTube series that we have going, which looks like and feels like another TV show that was on a long time ago. It is not In the Field. Welcome everybody back to this episode, audio only. Sorry, we didn't turn the lights on or turn the lights down or any of that kind of stuff for Field to Table. And as I won't say as always, but as usual, Mr. Ben Reed's here with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. And as always, you can follow us on the Field Pulse Instagram channel. What's the Instagram thing called? Is it your channel? Is it your handle? Is it your page? Our Instagram handle? Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, at Field Pulse. But what's your Instagram called? Is it a page? Is it a handle? Is it a tag? Profile?
Page,
Your Instagram profile?
Waste of time. I don't know.
Okay, we won't name it. Follow us on Instagram at Field Pulse. And I don't know, is this one going to go up on YouTube? I'm sorry, Matt, for all this bullshit.
Yeah, it'll go on YouTube.
Okay, so
There'll
this
be
will
a
go on
still
YouTube.
image. Probably we might throw up an image of the Octogolf
Yes.
my brother made and maybe something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the image of the lawn dart in the neck. Yes, and we are releasing episodes every Friday. If there's anything in particular that you would like us to talk about, that you would like me to talk about, or Ben to ask me about, or I can ask Ben about it, please email us podcast@fieldpulse.com. Happy to take submissions, comments, concerns, questions. You like it, you hate it, whatever. Just write something. Please. Say hi.
Tell us a joke.
Yeah, tell me a joke. Tell me a joke that you want me to tell Ben on the podcast, because I'll do it. Even if we have to just beep the whole thing out because we can't put it on YouTube, that's fine. I'll still do it.
I feel like most jokes we get will be that way.
I hope so. Those are the best kinds of jokes. But yes, new episodes coming out every Friday. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. Well, garden update. I planted so much stuff over the weekend. I am so happy. And then I got up to come to work on Monday morning and there were 2 crows in raised beds searching around, picking through mulch.
Those
And
bastards.
I got a real conundrum with the crows because they do good things, like they pick off bugs and pests, but they're also really smart. And so I have to figure out the right way to deter them without making them mad or pissing them off, because they're smart enough to get even. Somebody said they were smart as dogs, and I believe it. So I have to be very strategic in how I decoy them and how I get them to not mess up my garden.
All right, so give us the full story. When did the crows first appear?
When I on so we planted everything on Saturday. It rained all day on Sunday, and then on Monday morning, man, they were out there just marching back and forth in my garden beds. Just I'm sure they were looking for bugs and worms and whatever, but they were picking up mulch and moving stuff around, and they were doing their thing. You know, crows can solve puzzles. They can move things around and put things in order. I'll never forget this video. I'll try and attach it here of a crow that got two cats to fight. A crow went to
What?
a cat in a window and messed with the cat and got it all riled up, and then went to a cat in the alley and got it all riled up, and then got the cat that was up in the window, got it to follow it out, and then got the two cats to see each other, get mad, and then start fighting. And meanwhile, the crow is like bouncing around, laughing. He looks like he's laughing at the cats fighting in the alley, and he's just, look at you two idiots. So I need to do some real research. I've seen people get little river rocks and paint them. So this might be a project for my daughter to paint them to look like fruit, tomatoes, strawberries, blueberries, whatever. And after the crows pick them up and realize they're rocks and they're fake, then they kind of people say they lose interest and they'll leave you alone. But but I can't just I don't know shoot them or something. Just to, I don't know.
This is the predicament, Daniel, and I think we should consult experts. Okay,
Okay,
so I have done that for you on your behalf.
all right.
You're welcome. I went to Chat GPT and I asked for the top 20 ways to get rid of crows in a garden. Number one, hang shiny objects like CDs or aluminum foil strips around the garden to scare crows with reflections.
Yes.
Have you
There
tried that?
there are all sorts of tactics like that.
No, I'm going to read every one. Have you tried that yet?
No.
All right. Why not? Are you
I'll
okay? So you're worried, you're scared they're going to come back with bigger numbers and like burn down your house.
No, no. The thing is with all these tactics that you're about to read, I've read most of them. The thing is fake owls, noises, sounds, lights, all those kinds of things.
Scarecrows.
Yes. They get used to it over time. So you have to keep changing it up. You have to keep changing your
Well, I
tactics.
got 20 for you. That's like a new one every 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right. Install a scarecrow that is regularly moved to keep crows guessing. It's actually what it says. I guess again, next after this, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT how smart crows really are. Then I'm gonna ask if it gets any funding from Big Crow Network. Number three, use bird netting to protect plants and seedlings from crows. You got any nets?
Yes, and I'm considering that. However, it needs to be big enough to let the pollinators in, like bees and stuff.
It's just a hassle.
Yeah,
You gotta
and
set it up.
birds are pollinators too, so we gotta another balancing act.
Yeah, that's a bet.
Yeah, the nets are good for squirrels until they get a hold of them, and then they chew them, and then they pull them apart because they really want in. They are destructive little bastards.
All right, we'll come back to my list, but quick tangent. Have you seen the YouTube guy who makes incredible mazes and stuff for his squirrels in his
Uh huh.
backyard?
Yes.
God, I love that
Uh
so
huh.
much. They're so freaking smart.
Yeah.
The
Bastard.
way they like solve this giant puzzle over like a few weeks. Have you seen this? Dude, search if you go to YouTube, search
Squirrel mazes or
squirrel
something.
maze backyard or something, and you'll see this guy. Like he spends a year building this thing, and it takes a squirrel a while, like several weeks, to like finally solve it. But they'll run through it and test different ways every day, and it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible how smart they are. All right, back to the real topic. Play recorded distress calls of crows to create an illusion of danger. Have you tried that?
No.
All right, so that's another one.
We're
I
we're
mean, that
we're 3
sounds
days into this. I haven't done anything yet.
all right. Okay, well, you're complaining like you're out there,
I'm
losing the farm.
I'm planning. I'm trying
Okay,
trying to come up with the ultimate solution. That sounded bad.
Meredith can leave. Oh, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, number 5. No context needed. Plant tall trees or bushes as natural barriers. That's kind of lame.
No, that's
Yeah, that's
dumb.
stupid. Number 6. Eliminate food sources by keeping your garden clean and free of accessible garbage. You have garbage in your garden. I don't think you're the last person I would ever suspect to have like litter in their yard.
Yeah, no.
You keep your shit clean. Gosh, how dare you suggest that, robot? Number 7, use motion activated sprinklers to startle crows when they enter the garden. That's interesting.
That could be fun.
That's interesting. Plus, your kids will love
My wife would hate it.
it. Yeah.
Even better.
Your wife goes to pick a few tomatoes.
Yeah.
Ah,
Skirt, 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 skirt.
dude, please do that. Please record it. Check back with us. Number 8, hang wind chimes, which create noise and movement. So, okay, so let's pause here. There's a couple sound ideas here, and you're talking about how smart crows are. Are crows scared of sounds? Are they gonna react to a few whistles and
The same thing I said before. I think they'll at first, yes, I'm sure, just like anything, they'll be scared at first, but then they'll get used to it. They
Mhm.
realize that it's not actually going to hurt them, so then they'll just disregard it.
What like how long do you think the crow will take to learn? Is it a day? Is it a week?
I I don't know.
I think we should test this.
Maybe. I mean, there's a couple of them that we have a lot of crows in our neighborhood, and specifically a lot of them around my house. Some of these things are up all night long, and I don't get it.
Do you have multiple like crow gangs, like groups of crows that hang out together?
I haven't identified them, but I see a couple of them that look pretty intimidating. They're big birds.
I wonder why. Do you know why they're called murders? Like a group of crows called a murder of
Yeah,
crows.
that's a
Badass name.
yeah. Thank God it's not murders of people. That'd be weird.
I don't think we have a name like
Group,
herd or
a group.
just morons.
Yeah.
A person is smart. People are dumb. All right. Number 9, employ bird spikes in landing areas to prevent crows from settling.
No.
Bird spikes in landing
Yeah,
areas?
those are above like all the gas station pumps, and then entrance to a lot of grocery stores. There's these strips that have the spikes on them, so they can't.
Oh,
Mainly for pigeons.
yeah, they can't perch
Yeah, so
or
they don't
or
perch and
nest.
nest. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. You see those in like under bridges and stuff a
Uh huh.
lot. And yeah, yeah,
Yep.
okay. That makes sense. All right, number 10. This is interesting. Apply grape concentrate as a natural repellent on plants. Do crows not fuck with grapes?
That's interesting. Grape
Get a
concentrate.
little grape juice in a spray bottle, a little spritz, a little,
Probably attract ants
little spritz
because
spritz.
it's full of sugar.
I say add that to the list of things to try. That's interesting. Plus, feel the table. It's natural. No chemicals, no pesticides. That's what we're all about. Number 11. Place a decoy predator like a fake owl or hawk in the garden.
Yeah.
They're too smart for that. That's
Yeah.
BS.
They'll figure that out in a
Nope.
day.
Nope. Secure garbage bins. Okay, again, it's suggesting you're not a clean homeowner. So you know what? We're gonna move on. 13. Scatter. This is some. You're a big fan of Jurassic Park.
Yes, I just watched this weekend.
Which one?
First one.
Oh, that's oof. That's it. I'm sorry, not oof. It's like oof. It's just so good.
Uh huh.
Have you watched the other two in the original trilogy?
Yes,
Okay, so this one is a bit like Jurassic Park 3 for those who know the movie. Scatter predator urine around the garden's perimeter.
I do that for squirrels.
What urine do you scatter?
Red fox.
Ooh, that's fun. Where do you get red fox urine?
Amazon. You can go to.
I
You can also
wanted a story.
no. You can also go to like Bass Pro. They have it.
Do you know what I'm talking about with Jurassic Park 3?
No.
So this kid gets trapped on, a Jurassic World
Uh
like
huh.
island or whatever, and he's there by himself for like 3 months. And at some
Uh-huh.
point, the main guy, doctor, insert name here, somebody, gets there to like help find him, all this stuff, the plot of the movie. And at one point, they're hiding from, I don't know, T Rex or something. And he throws like this gas grenade thing, and it's like T Rex urine.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I
And
remember
and the guy
now.
was like, "How on earth did you get that?" And the kid's like, "You do not want to know." Great, great. I was hoping you like secured the fox urine yourself. You know,
No, because then PETA would be all over me for that. So no.
you don't have to kill him.
No, but you have to hold them.
I mean, wow, things are getting graphic and weird here. Not
Uh-huh.
necessarily. You just gotta wait for him to, take a leak, and you're just there right next. You just
Oh, hey, wait a second.
get a paper towel, soak it up. Get a
No,
little the.
you can just buy in a bottle with a dripper.
There are natural field to table certified ways to get urine out of foxes without PETA freaking
Chat
out.
GPT that. Go ahead.
All right, we'll do that next week. 14, install a robust garden fence to discourage entry.
Duh.
It's kind of lame. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point. They fly. It's like, never mind. Thought of a terrible joke there. 15, avoid feeding birds in your yard to prevent attracting crows. Do you feed birds?
No,
No bird feeders.
no.
You're just a
There's
bird hater all around, aren't you?
yeah,
You don't like blue jays, cardinals?
sure.
They're
Just
pretty.
don't tear my stuff up.
Hummingbirds are beautiful. They drink sugar water.
They're cool. Just don't tear my stuff up.
You know why a hummingbird flaps so fast?
No.
Just drinking pure sugar.
Okay.
Its heartbeat is always going. Really, really bad joke. I apologize. All right, 15. Nope, 16. Use use laser pointers, especially at dawn and dusk, to scare crows away.
That could be fun.
That could be a fun kids activity for
Yeah.
your daughter. That could be her job every
Yeah.
day.
I could wake her up at the crack ass of dawn and get her out there with a laser pointer. Wake up and point.
Honestly, if that works, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would.
Like the opposite of cats. Then ooh, that's why it works. Because
Yeah.
the cats come for the laser and they see a bird and boom,
Yeah.
you got yourself a snack. 17, plant species that crows dislike, such as strong smelling herbs.
We have some, but they don't care.
I mean, do crows just not like noise and scents? Like, you'd think if they're a sophisticated species, on par with an orca or a human, they would admire good music and
You would think so.
smells, aromas.
Uh, maybe they have more cultured taste than we do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's very possible. All right, number 18, rotate crops and change the garden layout seasonally.
Yeah, but
That's too much work.
they're still there. Well, you have to do that anyways for the soil, but the crops are still there.
Still gonna eat them.
Yeah.
19, drape mesh bags over fruit trees to protect the fruits from crows. Do you have fruit trees?
Yeah, I got 2 peach trees and a
Oh, nice.
pear tree, yeah.
I'm in a pear tree
Uh-huh.
and a pear tree. 20. I just read it. Oh man, this is the one that is gonna work. Employ a professional wildlife control service if crow activity is too intense to manage.
Sure.
Now here is why that's the best option out of all of them. I mean, the other ones we said laser pointer and something else we mentioned was pretty good. But Stranger Fields, that could be one of our customers. Crow Defense
Crow
Company,
defense contractors.
Crow Cleanup, Crow Cleanup, Murder. Yeah, I don't know. I'm out of things. All right. Well,
I'll keep you all updated on the laser pointer. I'm definitely doing that.
dude, that
That's just
please.
fun.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, protect the spuds.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, crows won't eat spuds.
no, I'm not worried about them. I am worried about my tomatoes though, because they do look delicious.
Do they eat the actual tomato or just like the leaves and they harm the plant?
Oh no, they eat a hole in the side of the tomato and then it rots and then it grows worms and it's bad.
Are you thinking of a caterpillar?
No,
Okay.
no.
Is the hole like perfectly round?
Yeah, so the bird will eat a perfect round hole in it, and then they'll stick their perfectly round head in the hole, and they come out looking just happy as hell. And
What kind of crows you got over that have perfectly round heads? And
oh no, I'm just talking about birds in general, just
hmm,
birds, all birds.
I'm starting to think you have a worm problem,
No,
and you just think they're crows. Have you seen a crow before?
lots of them. They're all
What
around my
color are
house.
they?
They're solid black,
Okay, all right, all right, all
shiny
right.
black.
Checks out. He's
Yeah.
seen crows. All right, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. I mean, crows are no joke. I think you can. Can you hunt crows? I definitely have an uncle that has hunted crows. Not sure if it was legal or not,
I'm
but
sure you can kill them. I don't know if I'd want to eat them.
what I heard he did was you like, shotgun and stuff. You kill one, and it falls down to the ground. All the other crows see the crow falling down. They think it's going to eat something, and they just swarm to where you are, and it's
Oh,
just it's just open
and then it's
season.
just a free for all.
Oh yeah, which
That's
sounds
cheating.
sounds kind of fun. Uh,
Dumb
and
crows.
honestly, maybe that's your method. Just get out the shotgun.
Yeah, but I'm in a neighborhood, 1, I'm in city limits, 2, and there's lots of them, which then brings that issue back around. I'm in a neighborhood, I'm in city limits, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, figure it out. We can't have the garden dine on us.
No.
Otherwise, what's the point of this podcast? I mean, like, why are we even here?
Yeah, it's
So
just garden update field to
keep it
table.
alive.
That's the plan.
Cool.
All right, well, thanks everybody. See you later.
Goodbye.